but right now I really don't like you. Right now you ought to start writing another book examining Trump and how erratic and what he is doing.
I think some of the questions about President Trump's behavior have more to do with personality than with cognitive decline.
Jake Tapper's entire approach is not likable. He has flushed his credibility away, just it seems, so he can appeal to Republicans and gain inside access to the Trump White House. Hello everybody, David Schuster here. In the world of 24-hour news, even sanctimonious anchors and hosts expect a little criticism. But on this day, it wasn't a political operative, a press secretary, even a pundit throwing punches. It was a viewer, an ordinary citizen who unloaded on C-SPAN's Washington Journal against CNN's Jake Tapper.
From Virginia, this is Sarah, line for Democrats. Good morning.
Good morning. Right now, I watch you on CNN, but right now I really don't like you.
Sarah from Virginia reamed Tapper over his book about Joe Biden. The book details the former president's decline and the effort by Biden aides to hide his condition. However, there's no evidence that Biden's frailty and the cover-up hurt administration policies, and the book largely ignores America's progress and successes under Biden.
I think you're doing a disservice to Joe and also to the American people. When are you going to examine, what is going on with Trump? Joe Biden conducted himself for 4 years taking care of the United States. He took meetings, he went overseas, he negotiated with other leaders. This president has been pure chaos, which indicates to me that there is something wrong with him. We will never get a straight answer on his medical examinations, what medication he is on. And yet you have gone after Joe Biden with a vengeance that I'm very disappointed in you. I enjoy watching your show, but not anymore. And I think right now you ought to start writing another book examining Trump and how erratic and what he is doing, calling out the National Guard, the Marines, and everybody. When has a president ever done that? It's pure erratic.
Okay, Sarah, they're in Virginia. Thanks.
It's ironic that Jake Tapper was thirsty during this segment because the criticism of Tapper is that he has been thirsty for attention and is using his Biden-bashing book to recover ground he has lost through the years, particularly with Republicans.
Thanks, Sarah. Sarah, as you know from watching my show on CNN, we cover President Trump every day for 2 hours, every day from 5 to 7 Eastern, and we cover all the things you talk about.
But what Sarah from Virginia was talking about is Tapper's book. The entire reason Jake Tapper was invited on C-SPAN is not because he has a daily 2-hour show on CNN, but because Tapper has a book that he is promoting and trying to sell. And Tapper's book, out now, is about Biden, not Trump. But Jake Tapper deflected and tried to defend himself by talking about his CNN show, which, by the way, does not draw much of an audience compared to CNN's rivals.
In terms of the current president's behavior, we have covered times that he has confused Nancy Pelosi with Nikki Haley. I think some of the questions about President Trump's behavior have more to do with personality than with cognitive decline.
Trump's behavior has more to do with personality than cognitive decline? Jake, just this week, Trump called the United Kingdom the European Union. He also seemed baffled and confused by an adversarial question from a reporter, and Trump fell asleep at the military parade he wanted for his birthday. And you think it's all personality and not cognitive decline.
But obviously, whatever lessons we've learned from covering President Biden, we would apply to any politician, any future politician or present politician. So I'm sorry if I'm disappointing you by covering President Biden, but journalists, we are supposed to cover stories that we think the American people have a right to know, that we think will enhance their understanding.
Journalists are supposed to enhance the public's understanding and cover stories that people have a right to know. Well, that's remarkable coming from Jake Tapper, because in June of 2024, Tapper hosted a presidential debate between then President Biden and GOP presidential candidate Donald Trump. Tapper merely asked questions and then sat back. He did not do any fact-checking of either candidate. None. And the thing is, Tapper and Dana Bash knew the issues well enough that the CNN anchors could have fact-checked the statements in real time. But because of corporate pressure by CNN and pressure by the Trump campaign, Jake and Dana merely teed up the questions and let the candidates go wild. Trump, according to post-debate fact-checkers, told more than 40 whoppers. Biden told a fraction of that. Were the American people enlightened or informed by such a spectacle? Did it enhance the public's right to know? Of course not. But Jake Tapper and Dana Bash and CNN sold out. And if the most well-paid journalists are willing to sell out and ditch any journalistic integrity, how exactly are other journalists, say the ones covering a city council meeting or local school board, how are they supposed to stand for the truth? That is the Jake Tapper legacy. He abandoned his journalistic responsibilities when they mattered the most. And now, Tapper is claiming to be a paragon of journalistic virtue because he has a daily show on CNN. Well, maybe in 5 years, when Donald Trump is out of office, Tapper will have a book on Trump as well. In the meantime, Sarah from Virginia and so many other people have got it right. Jake Tapper's entire approach is not likable. He has flushed his credibility away, just it seems, so he can appeal to Republicans and gain inside access to the Trump White House. It is slimy and opportunistic, and C-SPAN callers, like many other people in politics and the news business, can see right through it. Jake Tapper isn't promoting journalism. He's promoting and prioritizing himself. And he's doing it in a way that is pompous, self-righteous, and dislikable.
Or trusted your instincts more, or dug a little harder, or whatever. I think it's just a natural result of being an adult to realize shortcomings or failings. I mean, I feel this way about, the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq story. I was a reporter that was skeptical of the WMD claim, but certainly, in hindsight, I wish I had been more skeptical. And there are any number of stories along those lines. Certainly when it comes to President Biden's acuity, it's an issue that I had covered. I had asked him about in September 2020 when I interviewed him. I asked him if he would pledge to be transparent about his health, and he said he would. And there are a number of other times that I had covered it or asked people who worked for him about his age. But sure, yeah, I mean, I wish I had covered it more aggressively. I can't imagine that there are many reporters, with a handful of exceptions, that don't feel that way, knowing, as soon as the debate made it clear, oh my God, look how bad his acuity is, at least at this moment. I'm sure most reporters feel that way.
There's a story.
I look forward to reading your comments about the recent action on C-SPAN when a caller slammed and shamed CNN's Jake Tapper on live TV. I'm David Schuster. Thanks for joining us.